Good looks are not a substitute for sound character. Hello and welcome back to the Doctor Who Marathon. I'm your host McEdam, and today we're going to be talking about The Pirate Planet, the first script written by Douglas Adams, most commonly known for creating the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy franchise. So that's really cool, and it's directed by Pennant Roberts. This is a 4-part adventure and is the second story in the season story arc, The Key to Time, in which the Doctor and his companion Romana go searching for a piece of the Key to Time in each individual story. So here it's just used as a setup to get our characters to where they need to be in the plot and stuff. So the story doesn't really focus much on the Key to Time element. It's mainly just focusing on its own little story. Now, depending on who you ask, this is either one of the classics of the series, or it's a bit silly for its own good and a bit comical. Personally, I had a lot of fun with this story. I mean, I love Douglas Adams. He's one of my favourite science fiction writers. But for Doctor Who, at least for this story anyway, the comedy elements do weigh a bit onto it. But it's still a really great story. It's 4 parts long. I can't remember if I've just mentioned that. If I repeat myself, I do apologise. Also, I am really sweaty. I do apologise for that. It is boiling when I'm recording this. Currently, Britain is like in a heat wave, so I do apologise if this is all over the place. So the Doctor tries to land on the planet Califrax, a dead world with nobody on it, to try and find the second key to time. However, when he lands, when he tries to land, something goes wrong. And only until a second attempt by Romana do they actually land. Only they're in the right place in space and the right time, but it's not Califrax. They've landed on a completely different planet. It just seems to be on the exact same location. And it's also here that the Doctor and Romana go into the village of this mysterious planet, and some of the best humour comes in this first episode. I especially like when the Doctor's trying to talk to people, but they all just walk away, and just the Doctor's just like, he's so determined, and he stops chasing them, asking have they ever seen a planet named Califrax, but nothing seems to gel, and the tracker seems to be on the blink as it's registering everywhere. So very strange. And so the Doctor goes and investigate a scream, leaving Romana in the city by herself. As during before the Doctor landed, something happened, the good omens as the civilians call it, in which the skies change and everybody is rich. And it seems to be an economical paradise, this place. But a few individuals start screaming that the life force is dead. And when they do, the group of people, I can't remember what they're called. I believe they're called like the Mayans. They take these screaming people and basically convert them into their own. And we start off thinking that they're the villains. Now, obviously, as I'm talking about this, it shows Douglas Adams' superior writing skills on comedy to any other writer on Doctor Who. Especially when we go to our villains. The Captain, played by Bruce Purchase. Fantastic actor, and we also have Mr. Perkins, and he's a very great character. And the Captain also has like a robot bird, And the entire thing with the villains is so over the top that you can't help but laugh. I especially like the captain's little, like when he gets angry, he says like, "By the moons of Hondo, by the skies of Hades." He says stuff like that. So the story is basically, it's playing one of Doctor Who's weaknesses, to which I mean its campiness, its cheapy value to it, and using it as one of Doctor Who's strengths, as it's basically laughing with itself, and not taking itself too seriously, which might be an issue. I personally think it is. I mean, at least with this story anyway, it could really degrade it. Another example is when Romana gets captured by the guards and gets taken to the captain, and the captain works out that she's a genius, but she says she needs the Doctor's help, and so the captain commands that everybody go search for the Doctor. But as they leave, the Doctor walks in and introduces himself. "Hello, I'm the Doctor." And it has some really great humorous moments like that. Now, Romana in the previous story, as you may remember in my previous video, I didn't think she had a strong intro to the series. And this story, in her second adventure, she's a little bit better. Mary Tam gets a lot of great performance out of this. I especially like when she's with the captain and she basically knows that she's the smartest one in the room. So Mary Tam plays it like a little cheek, as if they're kids and she is just helping them act out their silly little rampage. And she gets some great moments when she's trying to rescue the Doctor and stuff like that. But she's still not a great companion in my eyes in terms of these two stories. She seems to be, for a character who's supposed to be a lot more smarter than your usual companions, she seems to be getting stuck in the very same situations, and only real difference that she has compared to other companions is that she can explain a little bit more and keep up to the Doctor's level in terms of intelligence, which in here doesn't really play a big part, because even when she gets captured by the captain and she states that, right, this is cool, I can maybe work this out, she still at the end of the day goes, "I still need the Doctor." So yeah, poor old Romana. Now, Pennant Roberts directing. You may remember when I talked about him earlier in the marathon, that he does it great with atmosphere, but he doesn't do great with cheesy, bright sets. But either he's done a massive improvement, or this seems to be a one-off, as despite its very loud, bombastic design to everything, it's still well directed. I especially like some of the close-ups in the captain's main control room, and I like the different feeling of the planet, how because in most sci-fi in general, you get you go on a planet and then they go, right, everywhere outside looks exactly like this. But they don't do that here. There are actually a few great different set pieces with the city and the mountain and the grassy fields where the Mayans come from and the caves. And it's just a very good looking story. Well done to Pennant Roberts for that. So the Doctor and Romana, they go down into the caves and they learn something terrifying about this planet. This is a spoiler, by the way, if you don't want any spoilers. it turns out that this is actually a hollow planet, and what it does is it dematerializes, just like the TARDIS, around another planet, and then whilst it's wrapped around it, it crushes it and takes all of its minerals and stuff with it. And yeah, that's a really cool premise. And the way the Doctor explains it, it's like a hand clutched onto a fist. Really emphasizes the danger of this particular story. And it's also that the Doctor realizes that Califrax isn't where the key to time is stored. The Califrax is the key to time. And they get captured again, and the captain explains that when the planet's done, he squishes them all to like a rock about this big and puts them into like a little museum that he has. And the Doctor absolutely bafflegaffed about this, is like, what's it for? Which is there's a great speech about it earlier on, where he's like, it's impressive and pointless, but impressive. It's also here that we get to learn a little bit about the previous ruler. There's a little bit of backstory to this planet, on which there was a ruthless queen who was a dictator, who there was rumours that she could live forever and she had mythical powers. However, she disappeared, and the captain came to this planet, and the captain gave everybody basically wealth beyond their wildest dreams if they obey his rules. It's also important to note that the captain has two other people, like his right-hand men, or man and woman, as he has the Mr. whatever his name is, and you have this unnamed woman. So the Doctor runs around in the captain's space, and he finds an old woman, to which he learns that is the Queen, stuck in between the moments of her life and her death. And he works out one of the captain's greatest secrets. So he goes back to the captain, and the captain makes him walk the plank. There's a walk in a plank scene in this story. Just goes to show how silly and ridiculous Douglas Adams' writing can go. And the Doctor runs off, falls off, and supposedly goes to his death. And that's the cliffhanger for part 3, which is just a great cliffhanger. Only it's been revealed then that the Doctor was actually using a projection that puts his that makes like a duplicate of himself, and the Doctor realizes that the woman that was working with the captain is actually the Queen that's been resurrected, and that the Queen has some power over the captain, as she commands the captain to kill the Doctor, but the captain tries to kill the Queen, only for the Queen to control his cybernetic enhancements and stop him. And so the Doctor and Romana, all this run around and stuff, and they get into the TARDIS and dematerialize and reappear just before this planet, this hollow planet, could materialize around Earth. So stopping their plans. And the Queen then kills the captain, and all these shenanigans and stuff, and the Doctor basically blows up the castle, and they take Califrax with them, and revealing it to be the key to time. And so that's the pirate planet. Overall, it is a really fun, enjoyable story. It doesn't have a lot to say. It mainly has it's just there to have a good time. Douglas Adams brings out his humour. Pennant Roberts actually does a great job at directing the lighter, goofier scenes, which is a surprise going by his back catalogue. And it's never boring. It's always enjoyable. So there you go. That's the Pirate Planet. Sorry, this one is probably a really terrible episode. I am sweating like mad. The heat is killing me. Hopefully the next episode will be better. So join me next time where the Doctor and Romana land on present-day Earth, and rocks seem to be killing people, and the Doctor gets messed up with some druids. Yeah. So join me next time for the Stones of Blood. See you next time on the Doctor Who Marathon. Ta-ra.